to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Happy holidays from Cleveland. Temperatures in the upper 30s, expected to drop right around 33, 32 degrees. Slight wind as we are just about ready. Cleveland winning the toss, they defer, and so the Chargers with Mike McCoy will receive. They struggled with injuries, blown leads. Last week, their 7th blown fourth quarter lead this season, and talking about frustration, Hugh Jackson's first year here in Cleveland has been that and then some. 0-14 as they look for their first victory of the season. Have not won a game since late last season, week 15 here, almost a year ago to the day. Cody Parkey on to kick, the third-year kicker out of Auburn. Isaiah Burse will take a knee back of the end zone, and here comes Phillip Rivers, 5th in the league in passing despite all the injuries. Missing his top 2 wide receiving targets, both of them going down early in the season. Of course, Keenan Allen at ACL in week 1. And he's had to take a lot of chances, Salmon, down the field because of limited resources. In the meantime, the starters in front of him, Chris Hairston will make the start. King Dunlap, that knee injury last week, colliding with his teammate on the offensive line, Travis Benjamin, that 47-yard touchdown catch, and a loss to the Raiders.
And they're also missing Melvin Gordon for the 2nd consecutive week, and they could really use him to run against this Browns defense.
So Kenneth Farrell making a 2nd straight start. Rivers is going to go down the field, has his man, it's caught! It's Travis Benjamin, the former Cleveland Brown, returning to take on his old team, the former 4th-round pick. It is a pickup of 50 to get the party started.
Why run when you can throw? Remember, Benjamin played here during his first few years in the NFL, came over to the Chargers as an unrestricted free agent. And look, the speed to come back to haunt his former team and beat Joe Hayden on that play. Remember, Hayden's playing with not just 1 injured groin, but 2. He needs surgery in the offseason. I don't even know how he's playing, but Benjamin taking advantage of it.
You see Benjamin's numbers last week was quiet after that touchdown catch in the first half. But a good start here. Play clock down to 1. Handoff is taken by Farrell inside the 20. As he goes right through that Cleveland defense for a pickup of 8, tackled by Ed Reynolds. How about this Browns defense? Emmanuel Ogbah, one of the few bright spots this season. Their team leader with 5.5 sacks. Christian Kirksey, 4th in the league in tackles at 126. And Sama just mentioned Joe Hayden, Pro Bowl alternate, despite dealing with the multiple injuries to a groin, and he will have to have surgery at the end of the season. Give him credit for showing all kinds of toughness and playing today on 2nd and short. You see them overload to the left. Farrell running right, and another first down for the Chargers to pick up a 4.
And Spiro, you know, just for competitive fairness, all teams have to report injuries. That's just so that it's fair across the National Football League. But you can see the Chargers using that information to their benefit, to their advantage. They understand that Joe Hayden is hobbled by injury. Don't even allow him to get warmed up. You go right at him on the very first play of the game.
Brown showing blitz. Chargers barely able to pick it up. This is Farrell breaking tackles inside the Browns 5. Hard run. A pickup of 9 and a good start for Farrell. Had a couple of fumbles last week, Salmon, including one he lost in the 4th quarter.
Take a look at this. This is going to be Jamie Collins coming here. And so the ball comes out here in the area where he vacates. Look, he blitzes, and so he's supposed to be on the edge. He's not there. How about that? They're going to run the football, but they're designing a run to attack the area vacated by the blitzing Jamie Collins.
Collins, who of course was acquired in that trade with New England prior to week 9. A trade that sent shockwaves around the NFL. 2nd and short. Just outside the 4. Another run play called to Farrell. This kid whom they liked very much, just able to get back to the line of scrimmage. No Melvin Gordon, of course, so Farrell making his second straight start, and you knew he wanted to put those fumbles, Solomon, behind him today as quickly as possible.
He's a young player that's going to get a shot, and Melvin Gordon certainly is the future. He's only 3 yards shy of a 1,000-yard season, but we should not be surprised to see the offense for the Chargers be this effective early in the game. How accustomed are they to scoring on the very first possession of the game?
They had that early success last week, trying to pick up where they left off. Rivers among the best-rated quarterbacks on opening drives this season in the NFL. From the gun, Rivers throwing near side end zone, and it is incomplete. Intended for Dontrell Inman. Good coverage on the play by Jamar Taylor, the fourth-year man out of Boise State and former Miami Dolphin.
Good protection and time for Phillip Rivers. He just couldn't get separation with the wide receivers. Hayden covering the outside receiver, and then there you see the good coverage by Taylor on the outside against Dontrell Inman.
Our team, of course, mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Solomon, you like this decision?
I do, and this is where, to me, you go to one of those tight ends that we talked about, Antonio Gates or Hunter Henry.
So McCoy going for it on 4th and 1. Run play. Farrell, he's got it. It'll be 1st and goal. San Diego from just inside the 1, a pickup of 3 as Farrell tackled by Christian Kirksey.
Oh, I have to think that they should get it to the tight ends, but when you can get your tight ends to block the way that you see here, certainly helps your run game. Remember, this Cleveland Browns defense, they gave up 180 yards rushing last week against the Buffalo Bills, so not surprised they're using the run game to attack his defense.
Hayden playing the drive, 1st and goal, play action from Rivers. Has his man, it's Antonio Gates, wide open for the San Diego touchdown.
He's surprised he was that wide open. They were so heavy in terms of the extra linemen on the line of scrimmage that Gates is able to sneak. Look at this. He's able to sneak right there, but look, you've got so many of these linemen, that's where they thought the run play was going to go. They take their eyes off Gates. He's so wide open.
And a former collegiate star at Kent State, about 45 minutes away from where we are here in Cleveland, coming back home and gets the Chargers on the board. And with that touchdown, the 110th of his career, he is now just 1 back of our colleague Tony Gonzalez for the most touchdown catches all time by an NFL tight end. Point after by Lambeau is good to make it 7-0. So Mike McCoy rolling the dice on 4th down, and it was all set up on the 50-yard bomb. Rivers to Benjamin. And then Rivers to old reliable Antonio Gates on CBS. Phillip Rivers entering today a perfect passer rating on opening drives this season of 158.3. 6 touchdowns, no picks. Been a very good starting team all season.
That's like a machine, right? It's just plug him in, turn him on, and he's able to make plays. And where he really does have to perform well today is in the 4th quarter, where the offense and Phillip Rivers has struggled in the 4th quarter of football games, especially on the road.
Josh Lambeau on to kick, and Mario Alford, whom they signed the day before their game last week, will handle kickoff and punt return duties today. He was pretty good in this role last week, and a nice-looking return here to get Cleveland their first possession. Solomon, what are we looking for early?
Oh, this is what we talked about at the top of the game. San Diego Chargers, they follow the script. Score early, get turnovers late on defense. That's how you go on the road and win football games. And right now, with RG3 on the field, the Cleveland offense have to have good timing and tempo in their quick passing game. That's what Hugh Jackson expects from Robert Griffin III.
So here is Griffin, 3rd straight start, 4th of the season. See the long losing streak by Cleveland, 17 straight, dating back to the end of last season. Play action from Griffin on 1st and 10. Underneath passes caught. That's the running back Isaiah Crowell, and now marker thrown, tackled on the play by Damian Square. It's a loss of 4.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask, number 71, defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
All right, so it's on Square. Walt Coleman is our referee. So here is Griffin Salmon. Of course, that broken bone in his shoulder in week 1. There was talk that potentially his career was in jeopardy. Ends up returning in week 14 and trying to pick up the pieces.
And after missing 3 months of action, I think what you've seen from Robert in the 2 games since he's been back is a lot of rust. It's going to take some time to shake it off.
After the penalty, they mark it just outside the 43. Run play called to Crowell. Just barely able to get back to the line of scrimmage. How about the starters offensively for Hugh Jackson and the Browns? Joe Thomas, incredible franchise record, 10th Pro Bowl that he was selected to this week. Isaiah Crowell, leading rusher for Cleveland for his 2nd straight season, approaching 800 on the season. And there's Thomas, and they took 3rd overall back in 2007. Future Hall of Famer, adding another notch to what has been an incredible career. Griffin going to the air on 2nd and 9, intended for Pryor. You see the flag come in. Casey Hayward on the coverage. What a matchup, Salmon, between these two.
All right, you know Hayward, he plays tight coverage, and he was on Terrell Pryor in close proximity as the ball arrived.
Pass interference, number 26, defense. Ball replacement, start of the foul, first down.
Now watch, I think Hayward's in great position. I think you've got to let them play because he was stacked on top of the receiver. Remember, as long as he's in that position, there can be contact as long as Hayward doesn't initiate the contact. But in that kind of position, you can touch the receiver as the ball arrives because he was not in that trail technique position. He was stacked on top.
Hayward selected to his first Pro Bowl this week. League leader with 7 interceptions. Turns out to be a 12-yard penalty. So 1st and 10. Griffin buried. It's Damian Square who's been all over the place early in this game. And that is the 32nd sack that Cleveland has allowed in the last 6 games. That's more than 15 teams have allowed the entire season.
Well, Damian Square, watch, look, he's going to come here right in the face of Robert Griffin III. Watch, he'll beat the center and the right guard and comes right in. Cam Irvin turned away from Square so quickly, and Square is a young, promising player on this defensive front for the Chargers.
Hurry, hurry! Check out!
2nd and 18. One play called to Crowell. As we take a look at John Pagano and the San Diego defensive unit. A unit that leads the league in takeaways, 27 entering this one. Joey Bosa, the former Ohio State standout, just over 2 hours from Columbus. Melvin Ingram, their 2nd leading sack man, 7 on the season, trailing Bosa. And Casey Hayward, Pro Bowl bound for the first time in his career. Got the call middle of the week. Called it just such an emotional moment and culmination of what has been a very workmanlike career 4 or 5 years into the league. This is Griffin going to run for it on 3rd and 17. Well short. They needed the 33 of San Diego. A pickup of 11. As Hugh Jackson will send out his... No, not yet.
All right, he can go for it. I mean, what's on the line here is their first win of the season. And I think you can go ahead and go for it. And let's face it, they're still trying to evaluate a lot of these young players, including the quarterback, Robert Griffin III.
So Jackson hears the groans, and he'll keep his offense onto the field. So 4th and 6. Griffin asking the fans to quiet down here. Griffin has time, delivers, wobbly pass, it's caught. That's the tight end, Gary Barnidge, a pickup of 10. First down, Cleveland.
Well, Barnidge does a really good job. He gets open, and he's working the middle portion of the football field. There you see him line to the right side, and watch him turn out to the right. He shoves off the defender, gets separation. Good throw from Robert. Good catch by Barnidge, who's been struggling as of late. Had a tremendous season 1 year ago. Struggled so far in 2016.
Barnidge, a Pro Bowler last season, tied Ozzie Newsome's franchise record with 9 touchdown catches by a tight end. Griffin showing that great mobility that we saw early in his career. A pickup of 5 on the scramble. Tuesday on CBS, celebrate the best of the best with your favorite stars on one stage for one spectacular event. The Kennedy Center Honors Tuesday, 9, 8 Central, only CBS. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Cleveland, 2nd and 5, opening possession of the day for the Browns. With San Diego in front, 7-0.
We're good. Hurry! Check out!
7th play of the drive. Griffin play action, fakes the handoff, slinging it far side of the field, incomplete. And those two, Solomon, are going to be battling all day. Pryor against Hayward.
Hey, Hayward is one of the top corners in this league. He's had a phenomenal season. Watch the break on this ball. Look at him jam that foot in the ground and drive on that ball to break it up to keep Terrell Pryor from making that catch. That was just excellent coverage, better coverage than it was in terms of the timing between the receiver and his quarterback.
Former 2nd-round pick of the Green Bay Packers is Hayward. Pro Football Focus has him as the 3rd highest graded cornerback in the NFL. He has had a spectacular season. Griffin from the gun on 3rd and 5. Throw over the middle. It's caught. That's Barnidge again inside the 20, and that will be enough for another Cleveland first down, a pickup of 6.
Well, this is what Hugh Jackson wants from Robert Griffin III. That foot hits the ground on that back drop. And look, ball out when Barnidge hits the middle of the football field in between the hashes. He was working between coverage. Watch, as soon as that back foot hits, he's getting 2 hitches, and then the ball's got to come out. It's either throw or go for Robert Griffin III. You don't want to get caught holding the football. You either throw it or take off and run with it.
Duke Johnson on the field. Flanks Griffin, takes the handoff on 1st down. Johnson trying to get downhill, the Miami native. Over 300 yards rushing on the season. He's been much more effective as a receiver, Solomon, out of the backfield at just under 500 yards on the campaign.
Hugh Jackson, as you take a look at him, they're evaluating every single player on this roster in these final 2 games, but I think they're very important for the growth and the development and even the career of Robert Griffin III. What he does in games like this the next week against Pittsburgh is going to determine his future in the NFL.
Griffin fakes the handoff on 2nd and 7. That pass nearly picked off the hands of Jaleel Addae, the safety. And now a flag is thrown behind the line of scrimmage, right around the area where Griffin was hit.
Personal foul, rubbing the passer, number 52, defense. Put the quarterback up, stuck him into the ground with all his weight. First down.
That's Denzel Perryman, the 2nd-year linebacker out of Miami. A very costly penalty against the Chargers.
I mean, when you play against a quarterback that you know has not been able to stay healthy, you want to get hits on. But you got to do it the right way, and you certainly can't lead with the helmet, and you can't dump them and drive them into the ground after the ball has been thrown. They're going to call that every single time. But Robert's got to be able to bounce back from those hits. We talked to him about it, Spiro. And now you see he stays in the game looking for points.
You see the penalties against this San Diego defense on this drive alone. 1st and goal, 1 play. Crowell into the end zone for the Browns. Touchdown.
This is good blocking. Watch here, blocks here, blocks here. And then the fullback, the kick out by Vitale, and then that's where the seam occurs. Look at this kick out block by the fullback. And then we talked about Isaiah Crowell being Mr. Inside, the power, the run-off tackle to drive this ball into the end zone. An impressive drive in the early going by the Cleveland Browns. I think fueled by their offensive line and good decision-making by the quarterback, Robert Griffin III.
For the Browns, their first offensive touchdown in 7 games. They had scored a total of 6 first-quarter points over the last 6 weeks. Cody Parkey's point after is good, and we are tied at 7. Crowell with the 8-yard sprint for 6. Browns haven't scored many first-quarter touchdowns of late. They do get a lot of help, Solomon, from that San Diego defense.
Yeah, the 2 penalties or 3 penalties led to 36 yards, which aided that opening drive by the Cleveland Browns. The offense had 36 yards also. 8 yards passing from their quarterback, but really good execution in the run game for the Browns.
Cody Parkey on to boot it away, and Isaiah Burr standing in his own end zone. Good leg by Parkey, and the Chargers will have it from the 25. Well, the NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to no fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. The 2017 Kia Sorento. Learn more at kia.com. Hanes, the Fresh IQ Advanced Odor Protection Technology. And by Bud Light, strike gold and you can win Super Bowl tickets for life. Happy to have you with us in Cleveland, First Energy Stadium. Spiro Dedes, Almond Wilcox, rest of our CBS crew. Wishing everyone a healthy and happy holiday season wherever you are. First and 10, Philip Rivers and the Chargers with their second offensive possession of the game. Just over 5 minutes left in the quarter. Rivers goes through his reads, throwing it far side of the field, and it is caught. That's Benjamin again. Had a 50-yard catch on their opening play from scrimmage, this time a 15-yarder. And San Diego moves to James.
Travis Benjamin spent his first 4 seasons here with the Cleveland Browns. Always been a deep threat option with his speed. But when he can make catches like this in the underneath coverage and create yards after the catch, he's going to put up some numbers against his former teammates.
Kenny Wiggins on the field has been announced as an eligible receiver. Keep in mind, no King Dunlap today. There's usual starter at left tackle and knee injury sustained last week. Chris Hairston, their 50th man, making the start in his stead. First and 10, one play to Farrell. Just able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and then a good push by that Cleveland front, tackled on the play by Christian Kirksey. So Farrell, second straight start. Of course, no Melvin Gordon. And this kid Farrell's earned it, Solomon, a workman-like rise through the league. Grew up in the suburbs of Dallas and really earned this opportunity.
Free agent out of Houston, hard-charging runner. Got a big body at 220 pounds. You talked about the critical fumble last week, but his head coach, Mike McCoy, is high on him, going to give him an opportunity to make a name for himself. He's got to hold on to the football today.
Farrell getting a breather here. Ronnie Hillman in, split out top of your screen on 2nd and 9. Rivers goes underneath, over the middle, it's caught. That's Tyrell Williams. Has become a favorite target of Rivers. Good looking one, forced out of bounds. A pickup of 27, and now the late flag is thrown. You see the jawing between Williams and Jamar Taylor. Again, our referee is Walt Coleman. So it's a pickup of 27.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 23, defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
It's Coleman announcing Joe Hayden is the culprit with the penalty.
Must have been away from the play. Oh, no, it was Taylor. It was Taylor who was in on the play and didn't see Joe Hayden in frame there at all.
Orlando Franklin is the injured Charger. We'll step aside. Chargers already without their starting left tackle, King Dunlap. Knee injury. Now Orlando Franklin having his leg looked at on the sideline. So Kenny Wiggins, a third-year backup out of Fresno State, comes onto the field. The offensive line, Solomon, last year decimated by injury. This year they've been, up until last week, relatively injury-free.
Yeah, but you know, Philip Rivers is used to guys rotating in and out of the huddle. 19 players on IR for the San Diego Chargers, more than any other team in the NFL.
The officials did correct that last call. It was, in fact, against Jamar Taylor. So 27-yard pass play, then they tacked on 15. First and 10, Rivers under heavy pressure, just throws that away. At the 500th pass attempt for Rivers on the season, 7th straight year he's gotten to that number.
Watch how heady Rivers is. He knows he's going to get sacked, but if he can get outside the tackle box right here, he can just simply throw it away, even if there is no receiver in that area. Once you get outside of the tackle
Browning,
box.
number 17, offense, 10-yard penalty, lost it down, second down.
So they're saying he never made it outside of the tackle box. And if you don't get outside the tackle, see, here's the tackle box right there. Let's see if he gets outside of that area. I know he was trying to. Okay, yeah, he didn't get outside of it. He's like right on the fringe, but you have to get outside that tackle box if you're just going to throw it away where there is no intended receiver in the area. Rivers was flirting right on that line.
So penalties already becoming an issue in this first quarter. Lively bunch of fans waving the pole here in Cleveland. Right around the mid-30s as we come up on the final 3 minutes of this first quarter. 3rd and 20 now. From the Browns 28. Rivers little sidearm delivery to Farrow out of the backfield. Farrow run out of bounds just shy of the 20. Forced out by Ed Reynolds, the second-year safety out of Stanford.
When you think about the spare parts that the Chargers have had to operate with most of the season, think about it. No Melvin Gordon, which we know is their ace #1 back, but without Danny Woodhead in the lineup, think about how many of those third down catches out of the backfield he would convert into first downs, and having to work with Farrow. And now here on 3rd and long, this is where the Chargers are really good at working those crossing routes with their wide receivers.
So this now 3rd and 14. Mark it from the Cleveland 21. Rivers again under pressure. That catch is made by Farrow, but he is buried. Demario Davis, the 50-year linebacker out of Arkansas State. And Ed Reynolds was the man applying the heat on Rivers. It's a loss of 4. And they will send out their field goal unit.
Yeah, watch Reynolds and Demario Davis, what we call that double A blitz. Both of them hit the A gaps. They're right on top of Rivers. He's forced to throw it quickly, but the tight coverage doesn't allow yards after the catch. It was just well executed, well timed by Ray Horton's defense. They're starting to apply some pressure to this Chargers offense.
43-yard attempt by Lambeau, and this is good. So the San Diego Chargers drive stalls, but Lambeau able to salvage 3 points to get the Bolts back in front.
We're watching the NFL on CBS.
Two pretty good opening possessions for San Diego. The last one resulting in a 43-yard field goal by Josh Lambeau.
That's that fast start we were talking about. Keep in mind the Chargers have lost 13 of their last 16 road games. If you're going to go on the road, you're going to win, get off to that fast start, then defensively, you got to be able to get turnovers to close out football games.
Alford will take a knee, and Griffin and the Cleveland offense will begin again from their own 25. New Year's Day on CBS. When someone is kidnapped, this is the team that brings them back alive. Catch the series premiere of the new thriller Ransom, Sunday, January the 1st, after 60 minutes, only CBS. Merry Christmas, happy holidays from Cleveland. Plenty of Chargers fans in attendance. There's Joe Thomas, we mentioned, headed to his franchise record 10th consecutive Pro Bowl. He's made it every year since they took him 3rd overall. The future Hall of Famer, who has endured a lot of losing here, continues to perform at a high level.
And his head coach, Hugh Jackson, said that he has been the most stabilizing force in what has been a most difficult season. Said through it all, Joe Thomas has never wavered. His leadership has been critical for many of the young players on this team.
One play call. This is Crowell. You know, he's in some pretty good elite company, some of the all-time greats who have made 10 consecutive Pro Bowls in the history of the sport. Merlin Olsen was just so incredible for the Rams for a number of years. LT and Barry Sanders. Thomas, the future Hall of Famer, now a member of that list.
You know, what makes him great is he's a tremendous athlete at that tackle position. I played with a Hall of Famer in Anthony Munoz. Joe Thomas has that same kind of footwork, the same kind of punch. His technique and his fundamentals are superior.
On 2nd and 8. One play called again. This is Crowell getting those legs charted for a first down outside the 40, a pickup of 14. We go to New York, JB and Bart.
Spiro Solomon, a special quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers has been near flawless. 12 of 13 for 163, finds Devontae Adams for the 20-yard score. Green Bay leads 14-3.
They're aiming for their 5th straight win and looking to set up a showdown with Detroit next week. Back to Spiro.
You love Aaron Rodgers, except for in Detroit. They see him playing like that, they get really nervous.
Hurry, hurry!
I had to wonder about the Vikings today. Of course, stuck on their plane last night for about 5.5 hours. Griffin will see this pass fall incomplete. You saw the receiver on the play, Corey Coleman, the rookie, get his feet tangled up inadvertently. Fans want a penalty, no flag. And it will be 2nd and 10.
He's running at the bottom of the screen. Take a look right here. That's going to be Coleman. Now watch, he's going to get tangled up with Trevor Williams. Williams runs right up his back, clips his heel, and knocks him down there. Now, Coleman's got speed to run down this ball. I don't know how it's not pass interference. I know it's Incidental contact is what they're calling it, but it's unfortunate for the Browns.
Williams making another start. Craig Manger out for a second straight week. Sustained a stinger a couple of weeks back. Second down pass is caught. That's Duke Johnson, who's been so good for them as a receiver out of the backfield. Could be the final play of the quarter. San Diego in front of Cleveland, 10-7. Griffin's early numbers, 3 of 6, 20 yards. Still trying to get comfortable as he makes his third consecutive start for Hugh Jackson and the Browns. End of the first in Cleveland. 10-7 Chargers will return after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. 3-point lead for San Diego as we welcome you back to Cleveland First Energy Stadium. Spiro Dedes, Salman Wilcox, rest of our CBS crew. Ryan Galvin, our producer. Andy Goldberg, our director. Merry Christmas, Salman.
Merry Christmas to you too, and to our entire crew. The guys in the truck, the guys doing the work to set up everything in the stadium today. Merry Christmas.
Third and 6. Griffin will work from the gun just inside their own 45. Griffin has time now under pressure, trying to escape, showing that mobility that has made him so dangerous early in his career, and he runs for the first down. Wow. What a play by Griffin.
That was Houdini-like. I thought he was going to be sacked in the backfield by Ingram. Watch number 54 coming around the back end right here. It looks like he's going to run into him. And watch this. He's escaped. Right there, I thought he was sacked. And then he steps up. And then he eludes everyone. Pops out, turns it into match. Great play.
Here we go. Hurry,
Bosa
hurry,
also had a crack at him. He was able to run 7 yards for the first down. Griffin on the run here, throwing and completing to Crowell. And Griffin, I thought Salman in our talk with him this week was very candid. He said, look, I'm not 100% healthy. I made the decision to return and try to play for my teammates. It was foolish to think that that bone was going to heal over the course of the season. So give him some credit for gritting his way through.
He missed 3 months of football with a broken shoulder. He said, look, I didn't want to sit on the sideline like some coward while my teammates look at me and we lose every game this season. He said, I came back to help us end this losing streak and try to win a ball game.
On 2nd and 5, they call another run play. Crowell looking for Daly. Hard stiff arm against the guy. You see his run out of bounds there. 6 different quarterbacks that they have had to use this season with all the injuries that they've had to deal with. Of course, Josh McCown. But this is the biggest decision that this franchise will have to make, Solomon, at season's end.
Well, they played 6 different quarterbacks this season. They've started 4 different guys. It's just amazing in terms of what this team has gone through. Josh McCown, RG3, Cody Kessler. You've seen Charlie Whitehurst play for this team. But they've got to make a decision. I think they're going to go out and get a quarterback either way.
Griffin on 3rd and 5. That pass is caught. Johnson, first down and more. Boy, a vicious collision, and 2 Chargers defenders are still on the ground. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. It was Denzel Perryman and Jaleel Adai, and you just hope that both are okay.
Yeah, you really do. Now, you're going to see a collision, but this move by Duke Johnson is Barry Sanders-like. This is what he would do to defenders. Watch this. And then he comes out of it, and then you see the 2 defenders collide. That's a wicked hit, but great move by Duke Johnson.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda. Hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days. By Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com. Amazon Prime. Get free 2-day shipping on millions of items. And by Verizon. It's always a great gift on Verizon. Well, the good news for San Diego, both Perryman and Adai able to walk off, but Salman, this was a vicious collision.
Yeah, it was. It looked like Adai took the worst of it from Perryman. I was just afraid that could be a head or neck injury. Both guys were moving around. They were able to walk off under their own power.
So the training staff busy on that side of the field. 1st and 10 meantime after a nifty play by Johnson. So he lubed that hit. Griffin throwing towards the end zone. It is caught. Seth DeValve, the tight end, going airborne, and now he looks like he's shaken up. 22 yards. What concentration by the tight end. a rookie 4th-round pick out of Princeton.
Now watch this. This is against what we call single high coverage. So Robert does a good job of reading it, and there you're going to see Barnidge coming off and hitting that seam. You see the center field safety, and then you got to jam it in there before the safety can arrive to put the hit on Barnidge. Or DeValve, excuse me. Seth DeValve is able to make the play, and Darryl Stuckey gets the hit.
DeValve, who missed 4 games early this season with a knee injury, only his 9th catch of the year. As those Browns trainers now come onto the field, they took him in the 4th round out of Princeton.
He looked like Barnidge running down the field. We're so used to Barnidge making those kind of plays. This kid held onto that ball and took a hit. That was just a remarkable play by the 4th-round pick out of Princeton.
So it looks like DeValve is okay. He will walk off. Barnidge comes back onto the field. But 1st and goal, and Solomon, a Cleveland offense that has struggled to score points, 13 or fewer points in 6 straight games. First time that's happened in the league since the 2011 Chiefs.
Well, Robert,
looked pretty good.
Yeah, Robert's doing a really good job of reading the defense and making moves to get out of the pocket. We've already seen him escape and extend plays. We've seen him read the defense and throw the ball. We talked about timing and tempo. That's what has to happen here down inside the red zone.
10th play of the drive. Barnidge, the man in motion. Hand off from Griffin, and it is Crowell in for the Cleveland touchdown. His 2nd of this opening half. And the Browns take their first lead early here in the 2nd.
Good mix of run and pass. Now watch this, kind of like that read option look, but eventually that ball's going to hit here. It's what we call splitting the defense. Whenever you can split it, look, they block down, they're able to wall off Denzel Perriman, who I didn't think read the play well at all at the 2nd level at that linebacker position, but they split the defense to get that rushing touchdown by Crowell.
So Griffin with a nifty 1st down run marches them 75 yards, 10 plays in just over 4 minutes, capped off by Isaiah Crowell's 2nd rushing touchdown of this 1st half. Well, Christmas came early for that big guy here in Cleveland.
Is that a turkey bone? That looked prehistoric.
Gnashing that thing. You see the Browns' first lead for Cleveland, Solomon. Hard to believe since week 10. And the first time that they have scored more than 13 points in a game since October the 30th, and we are still early in the 2nd quarter. Burst will take a knee, and Rivers and company will have it from the 25. Week 16 continues later today on Fox, then tonight on NFL Network. Tomorrow, a Christmas Day doubleheader comes your way on NFL Network. With our friends at NBC, Robert Griffin III. Solomon showing some steady improvement after he had to knock that rust off the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's been rusty after 3 months of inactivity of rehabilitating that shoulder, but he appears to be in sync. And I was here for the preseason where the off-season work really did show signs of improvement and development in his game. I think on these first couple of drives, we've seen some of that work come into play.
Orlando Franklin, who left the game earlier, is back to San Diego. This is Ronnie Hillman, activated last week for the first time since he was signed off waivers from Minnesota. Began the year with the Vikings. Last played for them week 11, and last week Hillman looked good. Joe Hayden and Ed Reynolds combining on the tackle.
Yeah, Hillman knows the offense. We talked about this last week. And remember, he had played in Denver when Mike McCoy had been the offense coordinator there, so he knows the offense, should help in pass protection, and he's always been good at catching the ball out of the backfield.
Last season, his best year as a pro, just under 1,000 yards from scrimmage. A member of that Broncos Super Bowl team. Play action from Rivers on 2nd and 9 under all kinds of duress. That pass deflected and nearly picked. Intended for Tyrell Williams, who went through the hands of Ed Reynolds, nearly had it around his shoelaces.
Rivers is so good at hanging in the pocket. Look at the pocket collapsing around him as the defenders get to it, just as he releases the football, but it sails high over the head of Tyrell Williams, and I thought Ed Reynolds was going to intercept this ball. you intercept all tips and overthrows. It actually hit Reynolds in the foot. He's got to be able to locate that ball in the air and make that catch.
See what the Chargers have done on third down in this kind of distance this season. In the upper third of the NFL, barely able to get the play clock before it expired, and that's Gates. How many times have we seen those two over the years? A pickup of 11 to the former Kent State basketball star. First down, San Diego.
Yeah, you know, whenever you have a linebacker in the mix on this crossing route, that's Emmanuel Ogbah. They stand him up, and you know he was used to having his hand in the dirt, at Oklahoma State. Now you see him chasing a future Hall of Famer like Antonio Gates. It's almost not fair to have the old guy working on the inexperienced rookie.
See what Rivers has done. 7 of 10, just over 100 yards already. He's about 100 yards away from getting to the 4,000-yard mark on the season. That pass for Gates, a little bit off target and incomplete. Pressure applied by Xavier Cooper.
Rivers does a good job. You know, he's not the most mobile quarterback, but you just talk about a quarterback who knows the timing and rhythm of an offense and how to move in the pocket, to avoid sacks, to avoid negative plays, and still get rid of it, not take a sack. I think he does that as well as any quarterback in the NFL. You can see in the dropbacks while he's been hurried or maybe knocked down, he's not taking sacks.
Second and 10, that pass over the middle is caught. And we asked Rivers, who of course has 8 children with his wife Tiffany, how they handle the Christmas shopping, Sam. And they have 6 girls, 2 boys. Rivers says that his wife Tiffany was kind enough to just let him take care of the boys, make his life a little bit easier.
Yeah, he was real smart about it. Like, look, I take care of the guys, you can get them taken care of, but you know, he is such a wonderful player, but his home life in terms of who he is as a father and as a husband, he takes his role at home just as serious as he takes his role at the quarterback position on the football field.
He says his boys love football. They're easy to shop for. As they're home watching their father here on Christmas Eve. 3rd and 2. That pass is caught. That's Benjamin again. Streaking up the sideline. First down and more on the catch and run. And the former Cleveland Brown already with a big imprint on this game. A pickup of 10. First down, Chargers.
Yeah, you can see Benjamin's going to come here in motion. He's going to be on the left side of the formation. But they're able to get him out on the edge where he can use his speed and quickness to create yards after the catch. He's already caught one deep down the field. But you can see Rivers is spreading it around. Most of those big plays are coming from Travis Benjamin.
Benjamin had that 50-yard catch on the very first play from scrimmage. Got some breather here. Kenneth Farrow is split out to the top of your picture on 1st and 10. Rivers again working from the gun. He's going to take a shot near side of the field, and that pass is intercepted. Jamar Taylor. He'll stumble, fall just shy of the 30 as Rivers throws his league-leading 19th interception on the season.
Yeah, Rivers didn't step up, didn't drive the ball. He had Antonio Gates down the field open. The underthrow is picked up by Taylor and the Cleveland Browns.
Well, Jamar Taylor, who never quite lived up to expectations in Miami, former 2nd-round pick there, with his team-leading 3rd INT of the season.
And Phillip Rivers continues to struggle throwing interceptions that are very costly, leading the league in that category.
Rivers' pass on first down is caught. Pryor on a streaking crossing pattern, a pickup of 18 right through the teeth of that defense.
I'll show you how poorly this ball is thrown. Taylor does a good job of staying outside, but look, he allows Gates to get on top. If this ball is thrown properly over the top, Taylor would not have been able to intercept it. Of course, it's underthrown, thrown more closer to him than it was to Gates. He has to be surprised. I know I am. I don't expect Rivers to underthrow his intended receivers when they're open down the field.
First interception by Cleveland, by the way, since November the 10th. One play called on first down. Nice job by Johnson to break the initial tackle. One out of bounds by Corey Legion. Denzel Perryman and Jaleel Adai, by the way, after that hard collision earlier, Solomon, have both returned. So great news for San Diego.
You know, we talked to Rivers about those interceptions. He said each interception has its own story, and a lot of times, you know, it's not his fault. But on that one, I think he'll be the first to tell you that I can throw a better football. It's the turnovers that really have cost this team. They lead the league in giveaways. So when they turn the football over, it's really tough to go on the road and win games.
2nd and 13. That pass is caught. That's Barnage, the tight end. Solomon, we talked about the rust from Griffin in his first start back in week 14. What have you seen from him here so far?
I'm seeing the ball come out in a timely manner. When he drops back, when that back foot hits the ground, the ball's got to come out. And typically you only get 1, maybe 2 hitches with the ball. And at that point, in his mind, he's thinking throw or go. Ball's got to come out on that second hitch or take off and run with it, as we've already seen him do here in the first half.
Griffin on 3rd and 8. He'll tuck it away, try to run for it. He needs the 42, and he's got it. Second running first down from Griffin in this first half. This time he escapes for 9, and Cleveland able to move the chains yet again.
You watch the 2 hitches. When he hits that top of that drop, that back foot right there, look, 1, 2, now go. If you don't see anyone open, that's how the clock has to work in the head of the quarterback when he's working his progression. It's something that Hugh Jackson has desperately worked with Robert on, and now you're seeing it in the 3rd game back. After that injury, you're seeing that timing is beginning to come back.
No, very so good.
On first down, that pass is incomplete. So far, Griffin has looked the best we've seen from him, certainly this season.
Yeah, he's done a really good job just getting the ball out quickly and even accurately. Good read right there on the read option, and protected himself by sliding. And look at this, that Houdini-like move on Melvin Ingram to not only get out of trouble, but create a first down. And then the bullet to Terrell Pryor, making plays with his arm and with his legs, pass, rushing, and already over 100 yards total offense for RG3.
Beautiful read option decision, and plenty of open real estate for Griffin. 13 yards on another burst, and a 1st and 10 for the Browns.
And we talked to Robert. He said really his #1 goal is he's got to do a better job of protecting himself. And what did he tell us, Spiro, when we talked to him? When big men are around, get down. That's exactly what you saw him do there. These are the kind of smart decisions that's going to allow him to stay on the football field and continue to be there each and every week for his football team.
Yep.
On 1st and 10, Griffin's going to take a shot, throwing far side of the field towards the end zone. It's caught, but out of bounds. Corey Coleman, the rookie, and now the officials say incomplete. Aimed it out. Coverage on the play by Trevor Williams, the undrafted rookie out of Penn State.
This kid, Corey Coleman, you want to see him stay healthy because he can make a lot of football plays. He's a talented player. Yeah, he caught that one out of bounds.
We have an incomplete pass.
You see the ref threw the hat. He said, yeah, he caught it, but he's going to be out of bounds. Incomplete.
Coleman, who makes up 15th overall in the draft out of Baylor, missed 6 weeks with a broken hand injury, 2-time All-American. The Littenkopf Award winner last year. Trying to finish his rookie season strongly. One play called to Crowell. And just to get back to RG3, you know, Hugh Jackson's such a reputation, Solomon, of developing and working with quarterbacks. It's unfortunate that they had missed so much time together with Griffin going down with the shoulder injury, but at some point, Jackson's going to rub off on RG3.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I saw him in the preseason. I saw him making so many plays. Now, this is the regular season. This is where the moments really count. Robert talked about being able to stay on the field, and if you can stay out of the rehab room and on the field and practicing each and every week, he is going to get better as a football player.
RG3 on 3rd and 7, lose the sack initially, and then he is decked. Jatavis Brown, the former collegiate star at Akron, 5th round pick. San Diego's 3rd leading tackler, gets to him for his 4th sack of the season.
And we're seeing the Chargers adjust their ability to rush. And you can see Brown is just spying Robert right now. He was just spying him, and then they're rushing to contain and trap him in the pocket. And Brown still is able to get to the sack. And so Robert's going to have to pick up on that and make the proper adjustment.
Here comes Cody Parkey, a 49-yard attempt. 16 of 20 on the season from 49.
Team timeout. Cleveland. 30-second timeout.
So Hugh Jackson electing to take a timeout. And Parkey will think about it a little longer. Sunday, January the 22nd, 18 people will go on the run from a team of expert hunters. CBS presents the real-life thriller Hunted, premieres Sunday, January the 22nd after the AFC Championship game, only CBS. So here is Cody Parkey. We were in Miami, Solomon, for that Week 3 matchup between the Browns and the Dolphins that Parkey, of course, had just been signed a couple of days prior. Just incredibly valiant effort by the Browns. Parkey misses the kick late and wind up losing the game.
Yeah, he could have won them that game, but you and I both know they would not have been in the game had it not been for Parkey, because he did connect on several field goals earlier in the day.
Browns looking for their first win. Marker flies. Just after the ball was snapped, Parkey's kick is good. And now we will await the call from Walt Coleman. We promise it's coming. Appears to be on San Diego.
Illegal formation on the defense. Covered up the center. That penalty's declined. Field goal is good.
All right, so the 3 points will count. 49-yard field goal from Parkey. And Cleveland builds on its lead. Oh, it's the thought that counts. Spelling not as important.
Oh, look at that.
A little extra E there, but Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all. As we welcome you back to First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland.
There you go. Did we get it?
17-10, Browns in front. 49-yard field goal by Cody Parkey. Boots it away from his own 35. Isaiah Burse take a knee again. And Rivers will have it from the 25. Well, NFL on CBS is now CBS All Access. Stream your local games live. Just visit cbs.com/NFL now and try it for free. Spiro Dedes, Solomon Wilcots, rest of our CBS crew from Cleveland here in Week 16. Phillip Rivers, that interception on their last possession to Jamar Taylor, 19th pick. Solomon, that Rivers has thrown most of the NFL.
Yeah, his ability to protect the football is critical to their ability to come on the road here and win.
One play called to Farrow. Penalty flag is thrown. Couple of them behind the line of scrimmage. Danny Shelton, the man on the tackle.
Holding, number 76, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, we mentioned the report earlier in the NFL Today. Jason La Canfora reporting that Mike McCoy is likely to be relieved of his head coaching duties at season's end. Of course, led them to the playoffs in 2013. The Chargers saying that no decisions have been made.
Yeah, there will be an evaluation, I think, based on the way the season ended last year. It seems to be trending the same way this season, so certainly it's open to that kind of conversation, and they're going to make a decision once we enter the offseason.
A couple of fakes on the handoff. This is Farrow underneath. Crosses the 25 and run out of bounds right around the 30. Well, McCoy, of course, led that 2013 team to the playoffs, which was a big surprise for many. Haven't been back since. And Solomon, when you look at the injuries that have decimated this team, guys that are key guys, foundational players, I'm just not sure what coaching staff, if any, around the league could have recovered through that.
Guys like Jason Verrett, Brandon Flowers, Jerry Otachi missing. But they went through some of these same kind of problems one season ago. And I think when you get a trend for 2 consecutive years you know, the front offices, they're going to take a look at it and evaluate what they can do to fix it.
Of course, you add the stadium situation. That, of course, is the big decision that Dean Spanos has to make. He told our Scott Kaplan last week that he is, in fact, leaning towards Los Angeles at this point. But they did have a meeting earlier this week with the mayor of San Diego, Kevin Faulconer, and some of the other top officials, and they did say reportedly that some progress was made.
Yeah, but when you talk to people around the football team, they'll tell you that the two are unrelated. That if they do make a change at the head coaching position, it has nothing to do with a potential move to Los Angeles, and that they're both just two individual points of emphasis that needs to be addressed.
Well, that snap was muffed. You saw him kind of hitch it with the snap. Could be a false start penalty.
False start, number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
That's Spencer Pulley, and that could have been the best possible outcome after that bad snap by Pulley.
Yeah, there's the snap. Oh, yeah, he kind of had that false start on himself. You know, just in my opinion, to go ahead and weigh in on, I think Mike McCoy is an exceptional coach. I think he's a difference maker with the quarterback, Phillip Rivers. The offense is going to be good under his tutelage because he's always been good on that side of the ball. I think you've got to continue to allow him to coach this football team. They've got a lot of young players who we're seeing play well, get a lot of experience with many of those veteran players out due to injury.
Rivers on 3rd and 8, under pressure, hit on a release. That pass is incomplete. Benjamin asking for a flag. Nothing from the officials. As Rivers taking a beating. Somehow Solomon able to get the football to his intended receiver.
Looked like Jamie Collins unleashed a hit on Phillip Rivers right here, just as he was releasing it. That's what forced the ball to go off its direction toward the intended receiver, Travis Benjamin. Benjamin couldn't come down with it because the ball thrown behind, but pressure leads to picks, and right now the pressure's starting to get to Phillip Rivers.
Another injured Charger. This time it looks like Joe Barksdale who's being looked at by the San Diego trainers. The Chargers already thin along their offensive line. No King Dunlap today, a knee injury. We saw Orlando Franklin have to leave. He has since returned. And now Joe Barksdale will slowly and gingerly walk to the sideline. Barksdale, the former collegiate star at Louisiana State. Second season with the Chargers after coming over in free agency from St. Louis. So he is just one of a number, Solomon, of these offensive linemen that have struggled this season.
I think they've got to continue to upgrade this offensive line. If you ask me what's next for the San Diego Chargers, they've got to continue to improve the roster. I think they've done a good job. They've got some young, talented players that I've been very much impressed with. But this offensive line can use the infusion of top-notch draft picks on this offensive line to help with the run game, more importantly, to help with the continued protection of their veteran quarterback, Phillip Rivers.
Did see them use a 3rd-round pick on Max Turk last season, but haven't seen much of Turk from the last draft, I should say. Their catch signaled by Albert, right around the Cleveland 25-yard line, a punt of 49 yards from Drew Kaiser. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. We'll send you to New York. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Coward standing by. Get you caught up around the league in Week 16. All next on the Verizon halftime report. So Cleveland Browns team in the midst of this 17-game losing streak dating back to last season. Have not won a game since Week 14 of last year. Right now leading the Chargers by a touchdown.
Now we talked about the Chargers. They've lost 13 of their last 16 road games. They come in here and say they lose to the Cleveland Browns. They become the first team this season to lose to Cleveland. I guarantee you they're going to have a conversation about coaching change and other changes that need to be made, because that would be a huge stain for San Diego in 2016.
One play called, such an unforgiving sport. You talk about the injuries and everything else that McCoy has had to contend with, but at the end of the day, it's a bottom line business and a business based on results.
Yeah, and that tells you how big this game is for San Diego. Despite the fact they've already been eliminated from the playoffs, you come in here and allow the Cleveland Browns to still a win and avoid going 0-16 on your watch. That's on your resume.
Griffin on 2nd and 10 has time as they keep it clean again. That catch is made. It's caught. Andrew Hawkins walking a tightrope on the sideline, streaking up the field. A pickup of 21 and a Cleveland first down.
Everyone who watches Andrew Hawkins play football, 5'7", 180, he plays with a purpose. You can watch him. Anytime he has an opportunity to make a play, he is electric. And boy, does he play bigger than his size would suggest.
Injury update from the Chargers sideline. Matt Slauson, one of their heralded offseason free agent acquisitions, is questionable to return with a foot. So already no King Dunlap. Salmon, 3 of their healthy offensive linemen have had to leave this game at various points.
That doesn't help when you're trying to protect the quarterback and come back to win here on the road.
7-point lead for Cleveland. Griffin from the gun on 1st and 10. Goes over the middle. It's caught. It's the rookie Coleman. Hard, stiff arm. I'll give him an extra yard at the end of the play. Steps inside San Diego territory for a pickup of 6. And you like this kid. Hugh Jackson says he's exactly the kind of player and talent we expected him to be. Just missed those 6 games with a broken hand.
Like his ability to stretch the field and get beyond the defense. They're going to take another shot with him down the field now with less than 2 minutes here in the first half. They've got 2 timeouts, and so Robert has to work this 2-minute offense to try to put more points on the board.
Coleman, the 7th different receiver to make the catches. You saw Griffin slinging it. A little bit behind prior. Penalty flag thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Coverage on the play by Casey Hayward.
Illegal use of hands to the face, number 54, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, that's the 4th defensive penalty today against the Chargers. This time it's Melvin Ingram.
Was Ingram working against Joe Thomas over there? You know, Thomas could give you fits. Left side of the screen. Yeah, right there. See the face? Right hand to the face, I should say, of Joe Thomas. Thomas does such a good job of keeping Ingram away from his quarterback, and Ingram kind of lost his cool. Joe Thomas never loses his cool.
Griffin on first down. Underneath that pass is incomplete. You know, we mentioned Joe Thomas before, Salmon, going to his 10th straight Pro Bowl. I think one aspect, maybe the most amazing aspect of this guy that's not talked about nearly enough, he has never missed a snap since they took him 3rd overall in 2007. Entering today, over 9,700 straight snaps. It's just incredible.
Oh, my. That's something. There was one season, I think a couple of years ago, Mike Benton wanted to take him out at the end of the game. They were winning, beating Pittsburgh. He sent the guy back to the bench. He says, we're winning. I don't get to enjoy these kind of moments. There's no way I'm coming out now.
It's a great story. 2nd and 10. Griffin's going to take a shot, throwing towards the end zone near side, looking for Pryor. Incomplete. What a recovery late by Hayward. One of the reasons why he is headed to his first Pro Bowl in his 5th NFL season.
I can't tell you enough what a good job this is by Hayward, because I thought Pryor was on top. Pryor's getting the hand fight. He's winning the position battle, and the ball came down and hit him right on that right arm. Looked like he's ready to haul it in, but Hayward continues to just fight and claw to try to get that ball out. That's called letting them play, because both guys were involved in the hand fighting, but I thought the officials did a good job of allowing it to play out.
She is leading 7 INTs. One of the few bright spots for them. Defensively, that pass intended for Barnidge is incomplete. It will be 4th and 10 as Hugh Jackson will send out his punt team.
Well, they tried to make a play. They did try to get down the field those final 2 minutes to Pryor. I was surprised they didn't run it with Corey Coleman. Probably will do a better job of getting deep. If they can get the matchup they want with Coleman on one of these Chargers corners, who's not named Casey Hayward, they might have a chance to make a play.
How about this? First punt today by Cleveland comes at the 1:32 mark of the 2nd quarter. Britton Colquitt has not had a touchback in his last 45 punts as he angles it nicely inside the 15-yard line Fair caught by Isaiah Burst. Another reminder to keep it here, the Verizon Halftime Report. JP and the fellas standing by in New York. All kinds of postseason scenarios starting to crystallize around the NFL. And Solomon, we're all looking forward to the NFL playoffs in a couple of weeks. It is just around the corner.
It really is. It is something. That's what we get in the new year. We get into the NFL tournament. I don't know who's going to win it. Something tells me the Patriots are going to factor in there somewhere. And everyone else is fighting for that other position. But I love the way things are trending for Dallas. It'll be interesting to see if they rest the rest of their players since they have that #1 seed locked up.
Joe Barksdale, who left earlier, is back on the field. Rivers trying to deliver to Hillman, a little bit off target, incomplete. And it will be 2nd and 10 coming up. So $1:21 to play. Here is the AFC playoff picture. New England clinching that first round bye at 12-2. Where you see Kansas City at 10-4. New England winning at the moment, and Miami up as well. Chargers, meantime, will miss the playoffs for a 3rd straight year, 6th time in the last 7 years. As Rivers finds Inman. First catch for Dontrell Inman today. A pickup of 8. Chargers with all 3 timeouts. Clock running, and we come up on the final 60 seconds.
Yeah, let's see if Rivers can create a big play. And this is where maybe the Chargers are really missing Keenan Allen.
Little delayed handoff taken by Hillman. Looks like the Chargers are content to just run this clock down. It'll be 4th down here. Emmanuel Agba on the tackle. And now timeout taken by Cleveland. We'll be back in 30 seconds. So 2 straight 3 and outs for San Diego since the Rivers pick earlier in the quarter. And the Browns will get it back. 1 timeout left and under a minute remaining before halftime. Alford backpedaling. He's going to play it from around his own 23. Crosses the field, crosses the 30, and takes a hard hit at around the 31-yard line. 55 yards and a punt by Kaiser, the Ohio native who grew up a short drive away from the Browns facility. And here comes RG3 as we take a look at their first 4 possessions. Solomon, again, very impressive compared to what we've seen from them this season.
Yeah, they scored on their first 3 possessions. You talked about it. They did punt for the very first time in this game until 1:25 in the 2nd quarter. That's what Hugh Jackson wants from this offense. And as long as I've known Hugh Jackson as an offensive coach, his offenses have always been very good, always tough to get off the field. We're starting to see some of those elements work for his football team today.
Hey, 52 the mic. We got rain. Right here.
Foreman feels the pocket collapse. Chargers giving chase, and they get him. It's Joey Bosa. What a play by the 3rd overall pick and a former Ohio State star. A loss of 3, and Bosa now with 8.5 sacks on the season.
I watched Terrell Pryor come across the middle of the field right there, trying to get him open, but he can't. Hayward's doing a really good job of coverage, but then the pressure. Bosa's speed surprises Robert. He thought he could get outside and get to the sideline. Again, Robert's got to protect himself when big men are around. Get down is what he told us. Bosa and that athleticism is phenomenal.
Pretty incredible. Despite missing those first 4 games of the season, Bosa at 8.5 sacks on the season. Halftime at Cleveland, 17-10. The Browns in front. We'll be back with the Verizon Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. First since week 14 of last year, up 7 on the Chargers. As we welcome you back, Spiro Ditas, Solomon Wilcots back with you. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Solomon, Cleveland playing ahead. They've had 4 leads at halftime this season right now, feeling good about themselves. What did you see in the first half?
Yeah, that score is not a typo. The Browns are beating the San Diego Chargers. I saw Robert Griffin III look really good in this football game, and Phillip Rivers did a really good job in that very first possession, which is what he always does. Take the Chargers down the field to score on their first possession of the game. It's the 9th time they've done that in their 15 games so far this season, and they get off to the early start, but their ability to run the football for the Cleveland Browns, Isaiah Crowell slashing off that right side of the offensive line to score a touchdown. He gets 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half of this ball game. The Cleveland Browns come out to put up a fight. Defensively, Jamar Taylor gets the interception on the underthrow by Phillip Rivers, and that would set up their team to take that lead. Now, Phillip Rivers has got to do a better job of just really hitting his targets, but his offensive line has to protect him. RG3 has been sacked 3 times in the first half. He's got to continue to make good decisions with the football. When to run, when to throw, when to get down.
And you can follow your favorite team all season long. Just visit itunes.com/NFL. So Phillip Rivers and company down 7 as Cleveland will have the football. Low bouncing kick off the leg of Josh Lambo. And returned by Alford, who has been very good for them in the return game, both on kicks and punts. 32 yards on the return. As RG3 back onto the field. Solomon, what about some second half adjustments?
Chargers got to run the football. They want to throw it. They've got to run it. They threw the ball twice as many times as they ran it in the first half. 9 runs, 18 pass attempts, and I think the protection started to break down. And then for Cleveland, you got to allow Robert to read and react to the defense. He's got to know when to get rid of the ball, when to run, and when to just get down and protect himself. Keep making good decisions with the football.
See Griffin almost exclusively from the shotgun, slinging it over the middle. This is Pryor. Pryor cutting back, looking for some extra yardage. That's his 2nd reception of the day. This one good for 11. And a Browns first down. As we take a look at the first half numbers from both teams.
See the rushing numbers without Melvin Gordon, without Danny Woodhead. I think that's where things begin to break down for the Chargers. They've got to run it better to have a more balanced offense. And then the 3 sacks, most of those have just been taken by Robert not knowing when to get rid of the football or maybe not extend the ball beyond the line of scrimmage when he takes off the run with it.
Handoff taken by Crowell. Approaching the 800-yard mark. Crowell, they say he stepped out of bounds. Boy, had a lot of room in front of him. Had he stayed in. We'll see where the officials will spot the football very close to that first down marker. And it will be enough for a Cleveland first down.
Crowell's so good. Look at the footwork here. Oh, that right foot stepped out as he tried to turn the corner. But nifty footwork, his ability to run the ball. The Browns right now are running the football far more effectively than the Chargers are.
Move!
That big game a couple of weeks ago against Cincinnati, 100 yards and the loss to the Bengals. Pass on the run. This is Danny Vitale, the fullback out of Northwestern, and another Browns first down. A pickup of 15, another injured Charger defender. This is Denzel Perryman. We saw him nicked up in the first half. And now it looks like he's okay. We'll walk back to the huddle.
They may go ahead and pull him off because he was down for a spell after making the tackle on Vitale. There's Perriman there on the tackle, number 52. Kind of rolls over right there. Just kind of winces in pain. Can't really tell exactly what problem he was having when he went down on the ground.
It's Joshua Perry, the 4th-round pick out of Ohio State. Grew up in Columbus, a little over 2 hours away here from Cleveland. And now Perry comes off the field. So Cleveland has run 3 plays. They've got 3 first downs already. 1 play called, another read option. Good decision. Johnson still going inside the 10, close to the 5-yard line. A pickup of 23 finally brought down by Trevor Williams.
Watch this. That's Ingram. See, he reads it poorly. He's got to stay up the field. I thought it was a good read on what we call the read option by Robert Griffin III. He read Ingram coming down toward him, hand the ball off to Johnson, who was able to get outside around the defense.
Good hard snap count by Griffin. Was he able to draw them
False start,
offside?
number 74, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It's their rookie center, Cameron Irving, 19th overall pick back in 2015.
Irvin just kind of dragged the ball, didn't snap it crisply or cleanly, moved the ball, and you're not allowed to do that to force the defensive lineman to jump.
The kid they drafted to step into the role vacated by Alex Mack. Last season played mostly at guard. Ball for a penalty here. Griffin throwing end zone, far corner. It is caught by Hawkins, but the officials say he's out of bounds. Griffin had him, but Hawkins just runs out of real estate.
Yeah, it's a bad throw by Robert. He's supposed to throw that ball toward the pylon, lead him away from the defender toward the pylon. It sails high and to the back end, but look how much room he has over in this area of the end zone. And that's where that ball is supposed to be thrown, but he throws him out of bounds. Robert knows he missed one because he had time, he had the protection, got to make the throw.
Crowell flanks RG3 here, takes the handoff on 2nd and goal, cuts back inside the 10th. That'll get him close to the 7. Eventually brought down by Perryman, a pickup of 6.
Well, that's just Crowell just making something happen by himself. They didn't have the defenders blocked. There were 2 defenders out there in front of him. He made them both miss to try to turn it into a positive play. You can see the Cleveland Browns are running the football today well above their season average.
Seventh play of the drive. Has chewed up nearly 60 yards. 3rd and goal. Play action from RG3. Nowhere to go. Bosa giving chase. It's complete to Crowell. They're forced out of bounds at around the 10, so they lose yardage on the play. Loss of 3. RG3 just trying to buy time to make something happen. Eventually, the tackle made by Perryman.
There's times when Robert gets out of sequence in the play. Okay, now you look to your left. You're not going to go to Coleman. Now look down the middle of the field. Now you keep pressing. Don't drift back with the ball and throw the ball late over to Crowell. The decision-making has to be more certain, and that's what Hugh Jackson, his head coach, is saying, that we had the play over to your left side. Go ahead and live with it and take a profit.
Martin hit it earlier from 49. This one from 27 is good. So the Browns build on their lead. Up 10 over the Chargers on CBS. A lot of bravery shown by those fans. Temperatures right around the freezing mark. As we welcome you back to Cleveland. Happy holidays. Cody Parkey, 27-yard field goal to get the Browns lead to 10 as we play early stages of this 3rd quarter. RG3, 13 of 21 at $137. No touchdowns, but has not made any mistakes on it. No picks yet. And he has looked by far the best we've seen from him in his 4 starts this season. Barkley got booted away from his own 35. And this will be Burst once again taking a knee to get them to the 25. Well, on Tuesday, the Browns' Andrew Hawkins was joined by Browns teammates and staff and the Cleveland Police Department for the 3rd annual Christmas takeover at the Cleveland College Prep School. They surprised 300 students and teachers with Christmas gifts and a $10,000 donation for new technology for the school. Great community outreach, which a lot of teams do, Solomon, around the country at this time of year. Nice job by the Browns.
Yeah, the Browns are an important part of this community. They want to win desperately here in Cleveland. Starts by just playing good defense here in the 2nd half against Phillip Rivers.
Rivers and company back onto the field. This is Hillman, who's been quiet till this point. And the first half possessions tell kind of a dull story for the Chargers after that early impressive scoring drive.
Well, they were able to score on their first 2 drives. The interception by Phillip Rivers on that 3rd possession, that's where things began to unravel because they would go 3 and out on the next 2 possessions.
That was his 18th hit of the season as Hillman is buried again right around the 25-yard line. Again, no Melvin Gordon if you've just joined us. The hip and knee injury sustained a couple of weeks ago. Back in week 14, they're hopeful that he could potentially come back next week. Just short of 1,000 yards on the season.
We talked about the loss of Melvin Gordon and many of the other running backs, Danny Woodhead, but also without Brandon Oliver, who could make plays in this offense.
Woodhead, such a loss, especially for Phillip Rivers, so huge for him in the passing game the last couple of seasons. 3rd and 10. Barely able to get off before the play clock expired. Rivers pass is caught. Beautifully thrown to Tyrell Williams. 1st down and more. A pickup of 20. As Williams comes across the field, Rivers finds him in stride.
It's those crossing routes. They try to pick off the defenders. Take a look at the left side of your screen. That's where you're going to see Williams comes right there, and he already has a step on the defender. Look at this throw with pressure in the face of Rivers. Emmanuel Ogbah was right in the face of Rivers. He still delivers tremendous strike. Throws like that will get Phillip Rivers and this offense going.
Williams out of Division II Western Oregon, earned a roster spot last season. Hung around Malcolm Floyd all year, a guy who really influenced him. A young kid starting to develop. Rivers slinging it again, and that pass is caught. Hard hit taken by Williams as he slides to the ground. It was Tramon Williams with a hard smack, a pickup of 16.
Wow, what a throw again by Rivers. He's reading the defense. He's picking them apart. Look at that throw. Very tight window, and what a job by Williams to hold on to that, because yes, he does take a lick. Gonna feel that one.
And that is a hard playing surface with temperatures right around the freezing mark. You see Williams trying to collect himself. Chargers go 3 tight ends here on 1st and 10 inside the Cleveland 40. Play action from Rivers under duress. Rivers showing the escapability against Almy. He's got that kind of old man ability to get away despite the lack of quickness. As we go to New York, JB and Bart.
No give up in Buffalo.
LaShawn McCoy is showing his exceptional quickness and vision as he takes it in 14 yards for the score. Miami leads 21-14.
6:46 left in the 3rd. Back to Spiro.
How about Shady with the shimmy and shake? Pretty good. Saw him do that to the Cleveland Browns defense last week.
Shady showing a little shimmy. Impressive. Here in Cleveland, 20-10 Browns in front. Week 16 as Cleveland looking for its first win on the season. Rivers hoping to have something to say about it. Fires and completes. That's Inman. Inman coming across the field. It'll be a 1st down. San Diego, a pickup of 16.
Watch him and working to the out route against Joe Hayden. We said Hayden playing with the 2 injured groin muscles. Will need off-season surgery when the season's over. So it's tough for him to play at the normal high level we're accustomed to seeing for Hayden. But Hayden, I think, was just content to keep Inman in front of him and allow him to make that catch without giving up the deep ball.
Injury update, Kenneth Farrow, their starter today for a 2nd straight week, questionable to return with a shoulder injury. So Hillman now becomes their lone healthy running back. They do have Derek Watt at the fullback position. We could see some of Watt here down the stretch, but the team already very thin at that position. It's a little bit thinner.
And that's important because now what it forces the Chargers and Phillip Rivers to be really one-dimensional in their offensive attack. They've got to drop back and throw it to get back into this ball game. The defense should know that and apply pressure. Remember, for the last 2 weeks, Cincinnati and Buffalo each rushed for over 200 yards against this Browns defense.
Chargers have been very good on their opening drives of the second halves of games this season. Trying to continue that trend here as we move under 7 minutes left in the quarter. Rivers under pressure, steps in front of it, will throw end zone, incomplete. There's no Charger in the vicinity. Gates was the closest man there. And Tramon Williams was there for Cleveland.
Now watch the pressure. They get to him, but Rivers just climbs the pocket. He almost as if he has eyes in the back of his head. He can feel them coming in from the blind side. He just tries to throw it away. See, that's Jamie Meter clawing at his heels. He tries to throw it away. He was hoping to maybe get a pass interference, and the receiver read what Rivers wanted from him, and maybe he would have gotten the contact.
See Gates lined up off the line of scrimmage towards the top of your picture. Play clock down to 1. Third and 8, here comes the blitz. Rivers throwing end zone, looking for Gates, and there's the flag. They say that the contact came prematurely from Jamar Taylor.
Pass interference, number 21. Defense, foul occurred in the end zone. We'll place the ball at the 1 yard line. First down.
This is what Rivers wanted on that previous pass attempt. And, you know, Gates can read them appropriately. Rivers just lays this up, and he says, hey, it's a 50-50 ball. Gates is either going to come down with it, or the defender's going to interfere with him, playing blind and not finding the ball was Jamar Taylor. Rivers did a good job of just setting up the opportunity to make a play.
19-yard penalty. Keep your eyes here on Gates and the rookie Hunter Henry, who's tied for second among all rookies in touchdown catches this season. He's been so good for them. 7 touchdowns, all coming in their last 10 games. As now Cleveland will burn a timeout.
Cleveland.
So 6:43 to play in this third quarter. In a 10-point game. Tomorrow, a holiday gift from 60 Minutes. A front row seat to the Broadway hit Hamilton. Tomorrow, only CBS. So 2 long extended possessions, Salmon. 1 for Cleveland, 1 for San Diego to begin the second half.
Cleveland Browns in great position now. Their defense is going to have to make plays. You know, as long as they've got Phillip Rivers, they're going to be in game. We've seen them take it right down to the fourth quarter and make it interesting, but they've lost a number of games in the final seconds, and they've got to continue to score in the fourth quarter, which they haven't done well mostly this season.
First and goal, run play. This is Hillman. Stopped short of the end zone. Good push by that front 3 for the Browns. Looks like Orlando Franklin, who left this game briefly earlier, is once again slow to get to his feet.
We talk about this team needing to score here, how good they've been.
Please put 6:28 on the game clock, please. 6:28.
I want to add some time to the clock here, but Chargers have been good on that first possession in the second half, but after that, Spiro. Okay, we'll let Walt Coleman give him the third mic in the booth, right?
Trying to get sorted through. Keep in mind, Chargers, as we mentioned earlier, already down. No King Dunlap today. Their starting left tackle out with a knee injury. 3 of their 5 healthy offensive linemen have had to leave the game briefly. Franklin left already, returned, and now looks like he may have to come off again.
No, I was getting ready to say that in the fourth quarter, the Chargers have been outscored 130 to 68 this season.
6:28, please. 6:28.
Okay, he's given us 3 different times to reset this clock as we see Wiggins come in. I'm sure eventually they're going to get it right.
So Kenny Wiggins has to come on again. One thing to keep in mind, Melvin Gordon is the only San Diego Charger to rush for a touchdown this season. Where do they go here on second and goal?
It tells me most likely play action, right?
Kenneth Farrell back onto the field, flanks Rivers. Rivers looking left, rolling to his right, and he'll just throw it out of bounds. Everyone covered down the field, pressure coming from the rookie Joe Schobert, the 4th-round pick out of Wisconsin.
The only one he had early was Farrell out in the flat, but to the right side, everyone's covered. And look, Farrell's going to come out early. See, ball's got to come out right now if you're going to throw that, but he didn't like that, so he had to hold on to it. They're covered. Into the right side, we already show you the coverage on that side. So really good job by the Browns. I thought the only option he had was Farrell out of the backfield immediately.
Two tight ends for the Chargers. Sean McGrath and Henry. 3rd and goal. Rivers putting some air under it. It's caught. One-handed by Tyrell Williams. Brilliant catch for the San Diego touchdown.
Wow. This is just a great catch. He comes all the way underneath the coverage, and Rivers is drifting to his right and throws it to his left side. It's going to come right here. Watch how far underneath he's going to come, underneath the traffic, right there. And Rivers just flips it. I don't know how he made that catch. Williams, awesome. We saw him drop a couple last week, but that was very nifty handwork by Tyrell Williams.
We know about the injuries. Keenan Allen going down with the ACL week 1. They lost Stevie Johnson back in training camp, so that thrust this kid Tyrell Williams into a more prominent role, and he is really starting to show some signs. One of the early highlight plays of his 2-year NFL career. Perfectly thrown with the touch by Rivers and a one-handed stab out of the air by Tyrell Williams. 8th time this season that Philip Rivers has thrown 2 or more touchdowns in a game. Tyrell Williams with a beautiful one-handed catch. And that cuts the Cleveland lead to 3.
Oh, Philip Rivers, he is the guy. What did he tell us when we talked to him? He says, hey, I got to be able to prove to these young players around me on this team that I can lead them in these kinds of situations. They're trying to develop some of these young players on this roster, being able to go on the road, come from behind and win. That would help accelerate their development.
Walford takes a knee, and they'll have it from the 25. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Mobile Strike. Download and play now, free from the App Store. And by Ram Trucks, America's longest lasting pickups. Merry Christmas, happy holidays from Cleveland. Spiro Dita, Solomon Wilcox. Our producer Ryan Galvin, Andy Goldberg, our director, rest of our fantastic CBS crew here from First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. One play call. Johnson breaking some tackles. Look at RG3 throwing his body in front of some defenders. I'm not sure that that's something Hugh Jackson wants to see. Tackle on the play by Joey Bosa.
Big men are around. Get down. That's what he told us now. Robert's been taking some shots. You know, he's got to be very smart. Now get away. Just get out of there. See, he just has a knack of, taking these hits. Incredible.
Red ID!
But he couldn't decide whether to fall or try to throw a block. Play action here, and he is sacked. Second sack for Bosa. And RG3 never had a chance. And you see Bosa making that OSU sign to some of the fans here.
Working against Austin Pasteur. He is so good at his ability to get to the quarterback. He's got the athleticism. He also has the power and size. I love the fact he plays with great technique. We talk about defensive ends, a linebacker's playing with a flat back. When you come off the line of scrimmage, you just saw Joey Bosa play with a flat back.
RG3 on 3rd down. That pass was caught. That's Pryor. They needed the 35 for the first down. He is short. There's so much uncertainty, or was so much uncertainty, Solomon, with Bosa, of course, the long holdout, then the hamstring, had to miss the first 4 games of the season. He said that his early success took such a load off of his shoulders, but he has been as good a pure pass rusher as a rookie that we've seen in the NFL in a long time.
And he credited the coaching staff at Ohio State. He said, look, we prepare to play at the next level when you play at The Ohio State University. Was coached up. We talk about technique and fundamentals. It is the #1 thing that allows you to make the transition from the college game to the pro game. And when you have good coaches like what they have in Columbus, you can make it happen.
This is Burris. One of the rare returns he's had in this game. Crosses the 25, close to the 24-yard line. A return of 8. That big pup making the dog pound proud. He's taking a little bit of a break from gnawing in that big bone of his. Christmas coming early Here at First Energy Stadium, Spiro Dita, and Wilcox, rest of our CBS crew. 3-point Cleveland lead. The team in the midst of this 0-14 season. They've lost 17 straight, dating back to week 14 of last season. Rivers and company back in the game after that last touchdown drive. One play to Hillman, and he is going backwards. Cleveland getting a good push. It was Danny Shelton was fined this week for roughing the passer hit last week, about $36,000, leading the charge defensively. Well, thought your fantasy season was over? It's not. Sign up for free, and you could win a trip to Super Bowl 52. Join today at NFL.com/playoff challenge.
Well, the Chargers just trying to run the ball. They lost 1 yard on the play. They now have 29 yards rushing in the ball game. They have to be able to try to run just to keep this defense off balance.
Rivers' little delayed handoff to Hillman. Tripped up just short of the 30. Good play by Christian Kirksey. Started the day 4th in the league with 126 tackles. Showing some of his open field ability with that stop.
Yeah, Ray Horton has done a good job of just getting this run defense sort of locked up. We talked about it over the last 2 weeks. He's given up 200 yards or more rushing against the Bengals than again against the Buffalo Bills.
Third and 7. Rivers slinging it. It's caught. That's the fullback, Derek Watt. And with that completion, Philip Rivers over the 4,000 yards passing mark for the 4th straight season and the 8th time in the last 9 years as his illustrious career continues.
And now they got to use the fullback Watt to try to catch the ball and convert on third downs. Philip Rivers doing everything he can. You know, his offensive linemen are running the pass rushers up the field. He's climbing the pocket, still good vision down the field, and he's going to pick you apart if you can't get pressure in the face of Philip Rivers.
Just under the 2-minute mark, third quarter. Take the handoff from Rivers, will throw it out of bounds. Rivers playing with a glove on both hands today, something he had been working on all week in practice. It's tough to throw in these kinds of conditions. It has been raining here the last couple of days, so a slick surface, and obviously that football tough to keep tight.
And we saw in that interception in the second quarter, Spiro, where he actually underthrew a wide open Antonio Gates. Jamar Taylor was able to come away with the interception. And I would be trying to get Travis Benjamin matched up against a kind of wounded and injured Joe Hayden. He already has one 50-yard reception in the game.
On 2nd and 10, Rivers goes underneath, incomplete. Bowman hit the deck. He was the intended receiver, so a 3rd and 10 coming up.
Jamie Meter sniffed that one out, didn't he? Big Jamie Meter. Number 98, he understood he was getting a screen play and went and tackled Ronnie Hillman. Didn't even allow him to get out of the backfield. Now Hugh Jackson leads his defense to make a play here on 3rd down. Philip Rivers is tough to stop when you can't get pressure on.
Farrell dealing with that shoulder, so Derek Watt is the running back flanking Rivers here on 3rd and 10. Rivers getting them organized. Here comes the blitz. Rivers backpedaling and throw incomplete. Gates the nearest target. It'll be 4th and 10 coming up. Ed Reynolds and Agba applying the pressure.
Emmanuel Agba comes. They bring Reynolds late. Watch number 90. Then you see Ed Reynolds come in and get the hit on him. They force the early throw before the route can materialize. Rivers is just forced to dump this football. He didn't want to eat it. See, the receivers are still in the midst of their routes.
Fair catch. Signal here on the Kaiser punt. And they'll mark it just outside the 20. 34 yards on the punt. 3-point game on CBS. Well, that brave young fan braving some of the cold weather here on Christmas Eve. All he wants for Christmas is a win, Santa. We'll see if they can deliver here. Browns at 0-14. San Diego at 5-9 here in Week 16.
With Pittsburgh coming in here next week.
trying to avoid becoming only the second team in history to finish the season 0-16. One play called to Crowell. Tackled on the play by Ryan Carruthers. Defensive pressure, Solomon, from this Chargers defensive unit.
John Pagano dialing them up. Damian Square coming right up the gut to get to RG3. And there you see Jatavis Brown. He's able to get in on the action. And Joey Bosa has 2 of the 4 sacks here today. He's wearing out that offensive line for the Cleveland Browns. John Pagano, defensive coordinator, understanding what it takes to corral a quarterback.
Play action from RG3 is going to try to avoid the rush, and they come again. It's Perryman getting to him. 5th sack of Griffin today.
We talk about being able to spy a mobile quarterback, what we call green dog pressure. Look at the initial pressure by Jaleel Adad, and now once he starts to run, here comes Perryman. See, Perryman is just laying back, waiting for Robert to try to take off, and then the speed of Denzel Perryman is uncommon for an inside linebacker. He's able to close in from the second level.
Here's a staggering stat. That is the 37th sack that the Browns have allowed in the last 7 games. Underneath pass to Barnings, the Pro Bowl tight end from a year ago, and he is very close to that first down marker. And it will be enough to move the chains for Cleveland. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Browns 20, Chargers 17. We'll return to Cleveland after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Legendary Jim Brown and the owner of the Cleveland Browns, Jimmy Haslam, his wife Dee, seated to his left. 5th year of ownership since Haslam took over this franchise.
Yeah, this kind of record is going to test everyone's loyalty, even the great Jim Brown. But I think unity and the ability to stick together, front office, coaching staff, the players, is the only thing that's going to allow you to weather this kind of storm.
Hey, 57, hey, red.
4th quarter begins with RG3 from the gun. Right around their own 30. Griffin sacked again. 6th for this San Diego defense.
I like this Damian Square. He is, phenomenal to be a nose tackle and to get this kind of pass rush on your center, on your quarterback. Watch this. He'll come right over the center, between the center and the guard, and look at him just continue to work. That's his 2nd sack so far on the day.
Ending the day with only a half sack on the season. His best game of 2016. Griffin, and he now has taken a beating from this Chargers defense.
This offensive line has been a problem for the Cleveland Browns. Joe Bitonio's out. Remember, in free agency, they jettisoned the veteran Alex Mack. Mitchell Schwartz at right tackle. They've had to insert Jonathan Cooper into the lineup in place of John Greco. So a lot of moving parts on this offensive line has led to many struggles for the Cleveland Browns offense.
Saw Griffin landing on that shoulder that he hurt back in week 1. Griffin airing it out here on 3rd and 17. It falls incomplete. Intended for Rashard Higgins, and now flag comes in at the end of the play.
Personal foul, rubbing the passer, number 99, defense. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
We talk about the quarterback having to protect himself. There's no way you can protect yourself from this if you're RG3. Here's Bosa. There's the hit and then the dump. And that's where they're going to get Bosa. You can hit him, just not allowed to just drive him into the ground. And I'm surprised Robert was able to get up after that hit. Wow.
Saw Griffin with his mouth agape at the end of that play. Solomon, you're right. I don't know how these guys get up sometimes. That was a vicious hit from Bosa. You used to be able to do that in the NFL. You can't anymore.
And I asked Robert, I said, what do you think after hits like that? What goes to your mind? What did he say? Get up. He said, just want to be able to get up off the ground.
Guy who's seen the early part of his career ravaged by injuries. Johnson on the take. Looks like he's shaken up. We go to New York. JB and Bart.
Hey, Spiro, a tough performance day for Mariota and the Titans. And here, made worse, Sheldon Day falls on the back of his right leg. They put an air cast on his right ankle. It's not been more definitive than that as he's wheeled off. Start of the fourth quarter there. Back to Spiro and Solomon.
Oh, just brutal. The Tennessee team fighting for a postseason berth. As now Duke Johnson is being looked at by the Cleveland trainers. Saw him in such a violent game, in an unforgiving game. As Johnson rolls over onto his backside, we'll step aside. It's Duke Johnson being looked at on the Brown sideline. The number 2 running back behind Isaiah Crowell, who has been so good for them in the passing game, their second leading receiver. Another injury update. Joe Hayden, a neck injury, is questionable to return. Guy who's already hobbled with the groin injury. So Griffin from the gun. This is 2nd and 13 from the 36. Griffin has been sacked 6 times today, gets it off. With that pass to Crowell, officials will say it's a catch and then brought down for a loss of a yard. Tackled on the play by Jatavis Brown.
And it's interesting now, what can you do in terms of the passing game if you're Hugh Jackson? Your offensive line struggling. The quarterback has been hit, hurried, and harassed to the tune of 6 sacks so far this game. There's not much you can do to extend the passing routes down the field when the protection doesn't hold up and allow time for Robert to get rid of the ball.
Flag thrown by the backside man. Referee Walt
Full start.
Coleman.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
All right, so a false start against Cleveland.
You don't know who moved. I didn't see anyone move.
Walt is keeping it a secret.
They didn't give us a number. But as I saw Kyle Emanuel, the linebacker for the Chargers, move into position, I thought everyone kind of held still there.
Base right here, base right here.
3rd and 19 after the penalty. On the 30, Griffin over the middle. It's caught as Barnage. Football comes loose. What do the officials say here? Was he down by contact? It's a pickup of 9. No signal yet from the officials. He was tackled right around the 40.
This is my guy. This is Kyle Emanuel. Comes in. We saw him last week, 2nd-year player out of North Dakota. Every time he steps on the field, he makes a play. This ball may be ripped out before the knee is down. We'll see. Might be simultaneous, and if it's bang, bang, then they're going to say down by contact. But we saw him make plays like this last week. Watch this. Bang, bang. Rip. I think that right knee of Barnage may have touched just as the ball is coming out.
Ruling on the field. The receiver was down by contact. 4th down.
All right, so that is critical. The ruling is that he was in fact down, so that they need conclusive evidence to overturn.
Yeah, there was the left knee. So I stand corrected. It looked like that left knee was down, then the ball came out.
All right, so McCoy's going to let it go here. 12 and change left in the 4th. And Britton Colquitt, who we have not seen much of today. On to Hunt. Forrest going to play it just inside his 20, and he is buried. 42 yards on the punt. With a turn officially of only a yard. You see the jawing at the end of the play. Ricardo Lewis on the tackle. The NFL on CBS, sponsored by Fruit of the Loom. Keep your cool in breathable underwear. Nationwide is on your side. By Honda, hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days. And by Straight Talk Wireless, best phones, best networks, half the cost. First Energy Stadium, downtown Cleveland. On this Christmas Eve from Northeast Ohio. Spiro Bedasom and Wilcox. That's with our CBS crew, wishing everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Inman, the man in motion. On 1st and 10. Rivers back to the airwaves, incomplete. Off the hands of Inman. Rivers delivering the strike right where it needed to be. Jamar Taylor was there on the coverage.
Yeah, Taylor was able to break on it because Collins was able to get underneath it and force the high throw from Rivers. Rivers couldn't put the steam on it he wanted. this is where they have to be able to produce in the fourth quarter. Look at the point differential, minus 62 in terms of point differential, where they've been outscored by most teams in the NFL in that category in the fourth quarter.
Here comes the blitz. Farrell picks it up. Rivers strikes. Incomplete. Once again, unable to locate Inman over the middle of the field. Good coverage by Tramon Williams, former Super Bowl champ with Green Bay.
And one of the reasons why I think they've not been as effective later in games as they have been in the early going is because they've lacked the balance in the run game. No run game means you got to drop back and throw it every single time. You're often put in these situations where you're 3rd and 10, and now teams can come after you and maybe double cover your best primary target.
Rivers has missed 6 of his last 8 pass attempts. 3rd and 10. That pass is caught. Inman for the leaping first down catch.
Going back to the days of Vincent Jackson and Malcolm Floyd, Rivers has always had these long, linky receivers. And whether it's Inman at 6'3",
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
They're saying Inman didn't hold on to it, Spiro.
And Rivers has to be restrained by some of his teammates. He is hot.
It sure looked like Inman had it. I don't know what the officials saw. Initially, it was ruled a completion. And now they're saying it's incomplete. Now we'll have to see if Coach McCoy is going to get a good look at it to see if he can challenge the call. There it is. Looked like maybe the ball moved once he hit the ground, but I don't know that it came out. I don't know if it hit the ground.
Again, when the receiver is going to the ground, he has to maintain contact, or control, I should say, through contact with the ground. Officials deem that he did not. So Mike McCoy elects to punt. This is Alford dancing along that far side. 50 yards on the punt by Kaiser and 2 on the return as Rivers continues to jaw at the officials. There in Cleveland, the Browns trying to secure that ever-elusive first victory of the season. 0-14, 17 straight defeats going back to the end of last season. They're going to have to do it, at least for the moment, without Duke Johnson, an ankle injury that they continue to look at.
Hey, 5-7, 5-7.
But they do say that he will probably return. For the moment, Crowell is the lead running back. Formation set behind the fullback Danny Vitale. One play call. Here is Crowell trying to find the edge. Oh, hard hit. My goodness. Oh boy, now Perryman clutching his right knee. It was Perryman, the man who collided with Crowell and Salmon. This is a all-world collision between these two.
Oh, it sure is. 2 talented players right there. Look at that. But what Perriman had, you know, as a tackler, you have to have a good, strong base. He got his legs crossed up, and just the way he was positioned when he made impact, the knee was in just an awkward position. So the shock of the impact will reverberate, right through that knee area.
We'll break back in 30 seconds. Denzel Perryman, second-year linebacker for Mike McCoy, being tended to on the field. Just a nasty collision between he and Isaiah Crowell, and then the leg and the knee of Perryman got caught in the turf, kind of twisted around. You see the obvious concern with Mike McCoy now coming out and crouching over one of his young defensive studs.
And Spiro, when you're tackling, to get good positioning and power, we often say same foot, same shoulder. So you step with that right foot when you're wanting to hit with the right shoulder. He had excellent technique, but the way that his foot and his ankle kind of got caught in the turf, and he's taking on the weight of the runner Isaiah Crowell, it was just too much in terms of the positioning that he had. It was just too much for his knee to bear.
And you just wonder how much bad luck one team can have. We've talked about all the injuries that have decimated the Chargers, but specifically on the defensive side of the football. You can just go down the list. Jason Verrett, Manti Te'o, they lost first 4 weeks of the season. And then more recently, Brandon Flowers had to be shut down, multiple concussions. As you see another look at the collision in that right leg, twisting underneath him. Also had to shut down Brandon Mebane, their highly heralded free agent acquisition from Seattle. Jerry Itauchu. And now the concern on that right leg of Denzel Perryman.
Made a wonderful play. It was a wonderful stop. So sometimes in football you can't always have the right footwork and be positioned just properly, and that little awkward step sometimes can cause a problem.
Perryman, a kid who grew up in Miami with dreams of playing in the NFL. What a future he has in front of him, and we just hope that he's okay. 2nd and 10. Griffin under pressure and takes another lick. Darius Philon, the man, able to get him coming from the right. And Griffin a little bit slow to get to his feet.
Listen to this hit. Corey Toomer, they're going to come get him. He's woozy. And even Gary Barnett says, "No, you got to go." And this is what, Robert talked about. He said, if you show any sign that you're slow to get up or that you're wobbly, they're going to remove you from the field. And he knows that it's important for his career to stay on the field. But official Walt Coleman says, "No, you got to go." And this is the right thing to do. What's best for Robert is what's best for football.
And you can hear the groans from the fans. Can't say anything about this kid's toughness. Broken bone in his shoulder. Go back to the knee injury that ended his brilliant rookie campaign in Washington. So Griffin woozy, will be looked at on the sideline, and here comes Cody Kessler, the rookie, 3rd-round pick out of USC. 7 sacks of RG3 today, Simon. That ties the most in a game in his career.
Well, remember, he's a mobile quarterback. I mean, it's not like he's just sitting back there allowing the pass rush to hit him. He's very elusive, and he's made some plays eluding pressure in this game today.
So here is Kessler getting to work. His first pass, intended for Coleman, is incomplete. Excellent defensive recovery by Trevon Reed, who has a pick in each of the last 2 games. What a defensive play.
Well, this one should have been caught. It's just a drop by Corey Coleman. That ball hit him right in the breadbasket. He's got to hold on to it.
Continue to look at Griffin on the sideline. This will be the 3rd straight punt by Coleman. Kill signaled by Burse. And then he'll fall on the football inside the 20. Try to save his team a couple of extra yards. 50 yards in the punt. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, don't tell these 2 teams that there's nothing to play for. Cleveland, of course, trying to get their first win of the season. San Diego trying to avoid becoming the team that allows it to happen. Phillip Rivers back under center. San Diego down 3 with 10:05 left in the 4th. This is Farrell, the undrafted rookie out of Houston. A couple of injury updates. Joe Hayden has been downgraded to out, dealing with a neck injury, and Denzel Perryman, a right leg injury, was carted into the locker room just a moment ago. And now we're told that RG3 has gone to the locker room as well. Took a hard hit a couple of minutes ago from Corey Toomer. So that injury list getting longer. Rivers on 2nd and 7. Underneath pass to Farrell, spinning away and breaking a tackle. Pretty run by Farrell on the catch and run, 10 yards and a Chargers first down. It is a concussion that they're looking at with RG3.
Yeah, he's in the protocol, and rightfully so. He took that hard hit to the head. They're going to have to check him out. He said the one thing he wanted to do is stay on the field for his football team. And now this Browns team is going to have to be able to make plays defensively if they want to preserve the lead against Phillip Rivers.
Rivers' pass is caught. Dontrell Inman lunging. It's a pickup of 11 and now
Holding,
late flag.
number 79. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's on Kenny Wiggins, and it's coming back.
All right, that's an unfortunate play there. Wiggins is in for Barksdale at that right tackle position. You see, he's working right there against Danny Shelton. Like he's in at that guard position, in for Orlando Franklin.
See the 9 penalties committed by Chargers today, 92 yards. As they take an 11-yard first down catch off the board from Inman. First and 20. Rivers throwing again. Inman lunging again. No flags this time. It's a pickup of 19, very close to another first down.
Well, Rivers just does a good job of throwing to spots inside of the zone defense. That's just a small window. And how about Inman's ability to go dig it out before it hit the turf? It's great anticipation by Rivers and a way to go get it with Dontrell Inman.
Third catch of the day for Inman, 44 yards. Rivers now 18 of 34, 248. Couple of touchdowns in the earlier pick. Chargers pick up the blitz, and that pass incomplete. Off the hands of Gates. Tracy Howard, the rookie, undrafted first-year man out of Miami with a nice defensive play.
You know, some players just have what we call that 6-inch punch, like a good boxer. Watch the hit here on Gates. Gates had it, but that hit by Howard just jarred the ball loose. In close proximity, his ability to punch and drive on Gates, that's what caused the ball to come out.
Chargers down 3, trying to keep the drive alive. One play called. Farrow going backwards. Jamar Taylor making first contact. Loss of 2, and Mike McCoy will send out his punt team.
Last week, the run defense for the Cleveland Browns was a huge problem. Look at this hit right there by Taylor. And then the cleanup by Tramon Williams, number 22. Defensive backs getting in on the action. It was Jamie Collins who collapsed that entire side of the Chargers offensive line.
Collins a Pro Bowler last season. Good defensive play. This is Alford. Trying to get to the 10 as he crosses the field. 57 yards in the punt, as we will see Cody Kessler back onto the field when we come back. Next Sunday, to keep you fully immersed in the playoff picture, the NFL on CBS showcases a doubleheader featuring these games according to flexible scheduling. Check your local listings. It all begins with JB, Tony, Coach, Bart, and Boomer on the NFL Today. We got a fun little finish for you here in Cleveland. 6:48 to play. Browns at 0-14, trying to secure their first win of the season. RG3 in the concussion protocol, left just a couple of minutes ago, so Cody Kessler, who started 8 games earlier this season, summoned here. One play called, Ingram on the tackle of Crowell, so suddenly Kessler back under the microscope.
And if you're Hugh Jackson, this is what you want. You want the lead. Ball in your hands. 6:30 left to play in this ball game. You need one drive to close out and get your first win of the season. And boy, do you need to get it here today, because next week is on the road at the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know that Steelers team is a tough one to beat on the road. If you're going to get that win, might want to start by trying to get it today.
Kessler on second down, little screen pass to Crowell. Kessler, who Cleveland surprised a lot of people in taking in the 3rd round, someone that Hugh Jackson liked very much, Solomon, through the draft process, and someone who he told us this week in our conversation he wanted to see Kessler one more time before the end of the season, and here we go.
Yeah, we saw him earlier this season in that game against the Miami Dolphins. I thought he played very well in that game. Got a lot of help from Terrell Pryor, who gave us some wildcat, and played quarterback, wide receiver. It was Pryor who did some of everything in that game, but Cody Kessler did a really good job of protecting the ball and not turning it over. Usually helps you stay in games on the road. That's Corey Liuget, see coming off under his own power.
Kessler, a 3-year starter at USC, a program that underwent 4 different coaching changes during his time there. 3-year starter, grew up in Bakersfield, California. Summoned here in relief of Robert Griffin III, who had to leave as they check him for a concussion. 3rd and 8. Kessler under duress, and he is sacked. Melvin Ingram getting there for the Chargers.
It's just a good disguise as they're going to blitz Melvin Ingram through the 2nd level of the defense. Look, Kessler can't see him. See him creeping in that back part of your screen. Watch him come around the corner, and it's too late for Kessler to respond and react. The Ingram, who flashed out of nowhere, they run the stunt off Joey Bosa, and the offensive line was focused on Bosa, and here comes Ingram through the back door.
8th sack for San Diego, 2nd from Ingram today. What a sack duo he has provided with Bosa. This is Burris. He's going to play it, spinning inside the Browns 35, and a very short field here for Phillip Rivers and the Chargers. 41 yards on the punt, 10 on the return, and a 3-point game, and under 5 minutes left.
Got to give the Chargers defense a lot of credit. They've really kept them in this ball game. They've been incredible here in the 2nd half, just pressuring the quarterback and trying to set the table for Rivers to get a game-winning drive.
Reminder to keep it here. The Subway postgame show coming up. JP, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach standing by to get you caught up around the league here, week 16 on the Subway postgame show. Rivers 18 for 35, 248 yards. On a day he has surpassed 4,000 yards for the season. His pass is caught. Antonio Gates, 1st down and more. A pickup of 20.
Gates is doing a good job against Christian Kirksey. Here he is right here. And Kirksey, number 58, is in chase, but just a good route, and the protection for Rivers held up. He was able to drop it into Gates, who was able to beat Kirksey on the play.
Gates, the former basketball star at Kent State, about 45 minutes away here from Cleveland. Memorable 2002 run all the way to the Elite Eight. Gates played such a big part in. 1st and 10 from the Cleveland 13. This is Hillman in the flat. What a defensive play by Tramon Williams, who's been doing it for a long time in the NFL, 10th-year vet.
It was Casey Hayward for the Chargers, who said it was Tramon Williams when they were teammates with the Green Bay Packers who really taught him how to be a pro in the National Football League. Tramon Williams putting in work right there. 10-year veteran out of Louisiana Tech, showing he can tackle. We know he can cover, but he's got the all-around game.
San Diego actually loses a yard. Mark it at the 14. 4 minutes left. Rivers going end zone, incomplete. Boy, Williams had it. What a play by Taylor on the recovery.
Ball thrown just a little bit late. Rivers wanted to come backside. This is Terrell Williams, and watch the close by Jamar Taylor. Not only did he close and get a hand in there, he's able to pry that ball out. But I thought Williams was open initially. Rivers was looking to the left, he came back to the right. That ball thrown just a tad bit sooner. He's going to beat Taylor on the play, and Williams would have himself a touchdown.
3rd and 11. Rivers going end zone again, and this one will be incomplete. Looking in the direction of Inman. Williams was there in the coverage, and now Marker throwing right around the 14-yard line. Very close to the line of scrimmage towards the far side of the field, Cleveland side. Here's Walt Coleman.
Illegal formation on the offense. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
So Hugh Jackson will decline the penalty. And now Mike McCoy will send out his kicker to try to tie this game with 3:49 remaining.
Well, it's one of those deals where, you know, they get great field position, weren't able to turn it into points. Got to give the Browns defense a lot of credit. But Rivers could have had maybe just a bit better execution because he did have an opportunity to make a play on the 2nd down throw.
Lambeau hit earlier from 43. This one will be from 32 to try to tie this game. Good snap, good hold, and it is blocked. And Cleveland will maintain its 3-point lead. It was Jamie Meter who got his hand on it.
Big Jamie Meter, 6'3", 310, from Ashland, Ohio. Little tiny college just south here of Cleveland. Watch pick number 98 right up the middle. Look at that. This big guy can make some plays. He creases the center and comes under Wiggins, the right guard. That's where the penetration comes from. And that's a game saver.
72 is an eligible receiver. 72 is eligible. 72.
Now the incredulous look from both Rivers and McCoy tells the story for San Diego. Still plenty of time left on the clock. Solomon's Chargers defense has played well. They've been able to get off the field quickly. There's now the pressure back on Cody Kessler and the Browns offense. One play called here on 1st down. Chargers have all 3 timeouts. Again, Cody Kessler has come on if you've just joined us for RG3, who is in the concussion protocol. Still plenty of time left with the 2-minute warning as well.
Coming into today's game, Spiro, this Chargers defense for Mike McCoy has forced a takeaway, a turnover in every single game so far this year. They're the only team in the NFL that's done that in every game, but yet they have not forced a turnover today. Kind of get the sense that it's time to do so. The likes of Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, forcing pressure on the quarterback, and the secondary has been very good at coming away with critical interceptions at important times.
Pitch play to Crowell, finds his seam. Lunges forward, just crossing the 25-yard line, a pickup of 4. Good lead block by the fullback, Danny Vitale. Timeout.
I would try to go with a bunch formation, try to screen.
Back with you with under 3 minutes left in this 4th quarter. You see Hugh Jackson, Simon frantically trying to get the play call in here. You see what they have done on 3rd down so far today, faced with a 3rd and 7 right here.
Quick passing game because the protection Spiro is not able to hold up under an intense pass rush.
Here come the Chargers. Kessler's pass is caught. 1st down Cleveland. It's Corey Coleman, the rookie 1st-round pick.
Hugh Jackson and I were sharing a brain.
San Diego, 30-second timeout.
They were blitzing and they go quick slant outside to Corey Coleman. But they were bringing the full house after Cody Kessler, and that ball came out very quick. How about Kessler, though, hanging in there against that full blitz look and being very poised under pressure and delivering a strike on that slant route to Coleman.
9 yards on the hookup. Kessler, who's been cold, standing on that sideline all afternoon long, stepping in for RG3 and delivering a strike to move the chains to Coleman.
That's something that he's really been impressive. I think his poise as a rookie is the thing that impressed me the most.
Made his first start back in week 3 in Miami. And play to Johnson, who left the game earlier with an ankle injury. Now Johnson clutching at his left leg.
3rd and final team timeout. San Diego, 30-second timeout.
So Mike McCoy will burn his third and final timeout. Still the 2-minute warning in front of us. As Johnson will limp to the sideline.
Well, now you see how big that third down completion was to Corey Coleman. It's forcing the Chargers to burn their timeouts, eats more time off the clock for Hugh Jackson and this offense. And it keeps Phillip Rivers sitting over there next to his head coach, Mike McCoy.
Well, these two teams fighting for this win. Of course, we know about Cleveland already have tied a franchise record for losses in a season. Trying to avoid the dubious distinction of finishing a year 0-16. Only the 08 Detroit Lions have done that in the history of the league. And the Chargers, of course, at 5-9, eliminated from postseason contention. Trying to avoid being the team that allows it to happen. On play, Kessler gives to Crowell. Just goes to the turf here, so third down coming up. They will be able to take a good amount of time off the clock here, as RG3 has been ruled out with a concussion.
Well, what, he was sacked 6 times? Maybe even, well, there's been 8 sacks in this game. He took most of them. I know they were able to get to Cody Kessler also. But he took a pounding from this John Pagano defense, the likes of Joey Bosa and company.
This will be the final play before the 2-minute warning. 3rd and 7. Ingram giving chase. Kessler spinning away. He still has it. Well, he kept that play alive as long as he could. Finally, Corey Toomer able to get him around the shoulder pads. But that block, field goal by Jamie Meter. The difference, 3-point Cleveland lead on CBS. Phillip Rivers waiting his turn. Britton Colquitt on to punt. These Browns fans are hungry for a win. Haven't had one since week 14 of last season. A 24-10 victory over San Francisco. 17 straight losses since then. A loss today would tie the 72-73 Houston Oilers for the 3rd longest losing streak in league history. All 3 here. Bar signals fair catch just outside the 20. And that's where Phillip Rivers and company will take over. So 42 yards in the punt. Phillip Rivers, 26 come from behind wins over his incredible career.
Well, he's certainly capable of doing it. And this offensive line in front of him today has been shaky. Now, he hasn't been sacked at all today, but pressure has forced him to throw the ball poorly at times. Pressure has forced him in terms of the timing of the passing route to throw it maybe sooner than he would like. But he's done a good job of avoiding that critical interception here on the road. And now he needs excellent protection so he can make big plays for a game-winning drive.
That pass is caught somehow by Gates. Shoestring catch. Jamie Collins was right there, a pickup of 6.
Jamie Collins do a really good job of coverage here. Almost raked this ball out right there. And as that ball went flying up in the air, you think a Browns player would have come down with it.
Chargers out of timeout, so they have to hurry. Gates able to get out of bounds and stop the clock. Collins once again on the coverage, a pickup of a dozen and a first down for the Chargers.
And if I'm Ray Horton, I'm not going to leave Jamie Collins one-on-one with Gates the entire time down the football field. What I would do is maybe bait Phillip Rivers into throwing it to Gates, thinking he has single coverage, and I would flash in double coverage clear from the other side of the field on a crossing route against Gates. It's the best that you could do against a veteran quarterback like Phillip Rivers.
Career-long field goal from Lambeau is 54 yards. Need around another 35, 36 yards to get there. Rivers throwing as Cleveland giving chase. Incomplete. Jamar Taylor was coming with the heat.
And he's telling Kenneth Farrell, that's your guy. You were supposed to pick him up. We knew he was going to blitz. It was your job to pick him up. Remember, Farrell is a rookie out of Houston. He doesn't pick up the blitzing defensive back. Pass protection priority number one. When you're on a passing team, particularly on a passing down.
Rivers, by the way, has been sacked in 31 straight games. Entering today, that's the longest active streak. They haven't gotten to him so far in this game. Second attempt. Rivers delivering incomplete. Intended for Williams up the seam. And it will be 3rd and 10 coming up.
Well, first of all, I think you've got to know that you're 4 down territory right now. No timeouts, 3rd and 10. Inman has been very good at working the one-on-one coverage. That time he and Rivers were out of sync. I would not be afraid to go back to Dontrell Inman if indeed I have one-on-one coverage with him on the outside.
Jimmy and D. Haslam, D. can't bear to watch.
You know, knowing you have a 4th down play, I would try to get Travis Benjamin down the field also.
Rivers on 3rd and 10. Fires. Incomplete. Again looking in the direction of Williams. And Tramon Williams was there with him step for step.
This is just good one-on-one coverage on the outside. This ball has to go a long way across the field, and that's why Tramon Williams, look, he's able to wrap up Terrell Williams, get his hand in there to keep Williams from making a catch on this ball.
Chargers out of timeouts, and it will come down to this. Can Rivers extend this drive with 66 seconds left?
He likes Antonio Gates in situations such as this.
Play clock down to 1. They barely get it off. Rivers has his man Gates wide open. All the way down to the 35-yard line. A 25-yard pass play, 1st down, San Diego.
You know he wants to go to Gates. They leave him wide open, Spiro. There was no one covering him. He would have run for a touchdown had Andrew Reynolds not hauled him in. How do you leave Antonio Gates open on that critical 4th down play?
7 catches for Gates, 83 yards. From right here, it would be a 52-yard field goal for Lambeau.
The defender here has to take him, but watch. There's some confusion on the switch. Look, he jumps there. Everyone just allows him to go off and running. That was Christian Kirksey who initially dropped coverage, and then Tracy Howard.
Fumbled snap. Rivers can only fall on the football there. Keep in mind, no Matt Lawson had to leave this game. It's a loss of 2. So Spencer Pulley, the undrafted rookie out of Vanderbilt, is their center. No timeouts. Valuable seconds coming off the clock. 23 seconds on 3rd and 12. Rivers again to Gates, taking on tacklers down to the 27. They have to spike the football. No, now they can't. It's 4th down.
Why would you not clock it? Oh, it's 4th down. You
it's
can't
4th
clock
down.
it.
They can't, so they have to get the field goal unit out. This will be a 45-yard attempt down to 1. They get it off. The kick is no good. He missed it. And Cleveland's long string of futility finally ends on Christmas Eve here in Cleveland.
Hugh Jackson, he said his guys were going to continue to play hard. They needed to get the win here because a win next week on the road in Pittsburgh, highly improbable. Now, they wanted to win more than they want that 1st overall